Good day, good morning, good evening to each and everyone that's tuning in to this YieldMax Mindset channel. I appreciate you all dropping by. I hope God has kept you and everybody's in good health and strength. Um, um, the things that I cover in my portfolio here is um, not financial advice. I'll just simply say that it's not financial advice. It's what I'm doing, and I just review what I'm doing. It's not for you to go out and do it. It's not for you to take the risk that I take. Um, I I go for the highest yields, and I take the uh, some of the highest risks. So this is not a pattern for anyone to follow. Please do your own due diligence before investing in any of these funds. Now, with that being said, let's get to it. All right. So this past week, for Friday, I believe it was the first that yes, President Trump announced the tariffs that was going in effect, and I think there's maybe another 7-day waiting period for others to try to do some negotiation. But anyway, um, the market didn't like it. And so a lot of things went down. The Dow, I believe, went down over 500 points. I believe, I don't know if the Russell, the NASDAQ, but one of those, I think at the time when I checked, it was down also 500 points. Not both of them, but one of the Russell or the NASDAQ. All right. So as you can see here, currently today, it is currently now uh, 12:59 Eastern Standard Time and 12:52 Eastern Standard Time and 11:52 Central Standard Time. Yes, we got it. All right, so this is going to change just a little bit after midnight. It probably will remain the same, about 2300 maybe. We'll see. We'll come back to it if, you know, after it crosses over. But anyway, we're sitting at $59,243 currently. So it's saying that we're up $2,300 for the day, which is nice. All right, live, we're currently down $751. As I stated for the day, $2,200. For the week, we are down $22,973. Excuse me, for 28.3%. Oh, here we go again. Don't start yawning until I start talking. But anyway, we're down over 28%. So we've had and it's probably 30 something. But, I got dividends, right? Friday, so that caused my balance to go up a little bit. So it may be down 30% for the week, which is a huge drop, right? All right. For the month, we are down $6,716. For the past 3 months, we're up $19,592. Year to date, we're up $6,813. For the past year, we're up $31,399. And all time, we are up $22,223. All right, so this is how last week played out. We started right there at 81. I think 81, maybe 82 is the highest we've had in this account. So we're making progress, slow but steady. Some mishaps, but we're recovering. All right, so let's go year to date so we can see where we. This is April. We were down to 19,000. Was down 32,000 at that time, and April the 18th. So that whole week from April the 1st to April the 8th, that was the last time these Washington talked about these tariffs, and the market reacted negatively as it did this time. But as you can see right now, um, we're not as down as nowhere near where we were come April, at least according to this chart year to date. We're not even nowhere near there. We're just right here. Of course, we've gotten paid more dividends, and so the value of our account has gone up. So that definitely has an effect. I don't know how you tally that, but anyway. All right, so let's check out buying power. Some of you are already aware of this if you saw the short video on Friday. Um, so our total margin available now is at $122,767. We have used, or I have used, because you all have not taken part in this, so I can't put you into the blame category. I have used $114,718, right? So when we look at our buffer is at $9,785 for 17.54%. I believe we were at 39%. I think that's where we were. So the value of account is going down and the buffer is going down some too, right? All right. So the interest rate is at 5.25. I think week 4 last week was at 5.25, and then I think last week, or if I check my short videos, it had bumped back up to 5.55. Now it's back at 5.25. Now it's because my account is fluctuating. All right, so my daily interest now is at $16.58. Right. All right, so here we are showing the interest of less than 50K, 5.75 between 50K and 100K, 5.55, and anything over 100,000 up to $1 million is 5.25. So I won't see this drop anymore until we get over $1 million or the Fed cuts the interest rate. So that's another way we can get it. And always, if you're a gold member, the first $1,000 in your margin account is free, interest free. All right. So if I was to make a withdrawal, it shows now that I have over $3,900 available to withdraw funds from this account. All right. All right, so let's look at our top 3 position, which we can see here is Coney at 10,000 shares, Ulti at 1,500 shares. Ulti is probably my next target to get 10,000 shares, or to at least get to 5,000 or 5,500 shares, because I would like to get it to where I'm averaging $1,000 a week with Ulti. So right now, I will probably need I think I tallied it to be about 5,500 shares. Well, let's just get the old handy calculator out, right? All right, so 5,500 times 0.095. That seems to be the consistent number. We see it bumps up to 10, but let's just go with the 0.095. All right, so that is 520. All right, so that's on the 5. So that was basing if I wanted over $500 a week. So I will actually need probably 10,500 shares at 0.95. Yep. So I would need about 10,500 and maybe, let's say, 50 shares, right? That gets me $1,000 a week, which will be about over $4,000 a month. So I would need to invest a total of about $62,000 in order to get $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month. All right, so that's going to be something that's going to have to be delayed. But right now, we know that I have 1,500 shares of OT at 0.095. So right now, I'm averaging about $140 a week, and I am getting about $570 a month, which is nice. Minimum, I would have loved to have over $500 a week minimum. And I say that is because, I have my Coney and I have some other positions that I'm nibbling in, trying to get in. But with Ulti being a weekly, what that would do is if I needed $500, I can know that I'm going to get $500 come Friday. That early in the day, I can do that instant um, withdrawal with Robinhood, take a small fee, and have that money in my bank. And if I need it for the weekend, just for maybe I need to go out of town for a family emergency or something like that, right? I would have the funds there to go take care of that, right? All right, so our chart here has changed. So it's showing now that a day we're up over $2,000. All right, let's get to Coney. All right, so I know a lot of y'all be like, "Ooh, I wonder what's going on with him and his Coney account." Let me sip on some of this apple juice right here. All right, so YieldMax Coney. Um, oh, I didn't tell you what we was going to cover in this portfolio. You can see how organized I am, right? So we're going to review our Robinhood portfolio, our Charles Schwab. We got a PowerPoint presentation. We're going to hit our Excel spreadsheet. Going to hit our Divi tracker, our snowball analytics, and our Q&A, and we're going to get out of here. Hopefully we can get this video under an hour. Let's see. All right. So my Coney stands at $7.36. If I, in all honesty, I know y'all saying, what is he talking about? If I had significant buying power, I would love to add to my position in Coney because I haven't had significant buying power. But I was able to cost average down from maybe $14, $15 now to $11.39. Um, I was tempted. I ain't gonna lie. I was tempted to maybe put 4K in here and bring down that because that's as I stated in a short video on Friday. This was $7.39 and this was $11.39, so that was like $4 difference. So that could bring down my average cost significantly. I don't know with this many shares if it would put a dent. I would need to make a huge purchase of Coney to do that. But right now, uh, I would love to when its price is cheap like this because if it's $11.39 and I drop this, say to $11, right? So when Coney does have its dip, it doesn't have far to go because my price is already low, right? So the higher this price is and the lower Coney dips, yes, it's a huge, huge difference. But the lower I get this average cost in Coney dips, it doesn't hurt me as much because the price is already low per share, right? So the last time back in April, I believe this was around 14 something. And so when Coney dipped to $6 and I think maybe 50 cents, it hurt. It hurt. Of course, y'all look at this and going, "Oh, well, you down 40,000." Yes. Um, but my average call was a lot higher. And I've added a significant amount to my position and I'm down 40K right now. All right. But anyway, we're gonna probably sit still on Coney right quick. I mean for right now. All right, next we got Ulti. We was just talking about this earlier at 609. This is another position I was tempted to add. Um, while it's down, bring down my average call from 706. Get it down under $7. That would be nice. But right now it's probably not an ideal time for me to. I mean, I can because of my buffer, but I don't want to put myself in greater risk. All right. The next one is Misty. Misty again. This is another position. I'm like, oh man, you know how many opportunities you've been waiting to get Misty at below $20. This is probably the third time that I've seen it below $20 significantly. Um, One time it came down to 17, I think the last time. It's hit 17, I think, again, and now here's at 18. Right here it shows it got down to 1787. So I was very tempted Friday night to add to the position to get this maybe down to 23. But every time it seems like I am able to get into Misty, something happens and I lose my shares. But they've always been in profit, thank goodness, when I had to sell. So you can see, oh, let's go back to OT. So in OT, oh, let's go back to Coney. So my market value for Coney is at 73,900. I'm down 40,000. Average cost is 1139, and we have 10,000 shares. Misty is at 609. Excuse me. OT is at 609. Our market value is over $9,100. We're down over $1,400. Average cost is 706 for 1,500 shares. All right, now Misty is at 1830. Our market value is at 18,300. We're down just over $7,300 in this account. Average cost is 2570, and we have 1,000 shares. So another thing is in the red, when you buy and bring down your average cost and it goes back up, it gives you even more buffer. And I think that's one of the things that happened with Conan. It gave me the buffer that I have now. And buying in the Palantir and Hood definitely helps stabilize things too. All right, so we have AMD 875. Now, this week, I didn't do short videos for all my transactions. So I have a PowerPoint that's going to show you all the transactions I did for this week, right? So because some of these I was in a position where I just couldn't do the video, but I wanted to make a transaction, buy or a position, increase it, and so I did so. And I said, how am I going to show? Because I try to be as transparent as I can. So you'll see in the PowerPoint presentation. All right, so AMD's at 875. It's been going up. Market value is at over $5,900. We're down over $2,100 in this account. We brought our average cost down to $11.97. We had 340, so we doubled our position in this account. I believe we was around $15. So we doubled that position and brought it down to $11.97. All right, next we got Platy, $68.50 right now. Our market value is at $15,755. We're up $526. Our average cost is $66.21. We have 230 shares, and I would love to have more Platy. Only 230 shares. So I'd love to have more. I guess I would love to have a lot more of everything, right? All right. All right. So we have Palantir. Palantir is at 156. We're up $2.68 in the overnight market. All right. So Palantir has their earnings, I believe, tomorrow. I believe. Yes, tomorrow after close. So didn't sell Friday. One because I was determined trying to figure out if I wanted to sell leading up to earnings. I was going to maybe hold on to 10 shares. And then I was thinking, you know what? The way Palantir has been moving, even if the earnings is not what they expected, it's been pretty solid. And even if it did dip, I believe that just on the activity and the catalyst of things I hear, I believe it still would recover. So a couple of weeks ago, I did add another 30 shares, I believe, to this position. So my average cost now is at 131, and we have it says the market value is at 23,550, and right now we're in profit of $3,805. So gonna see how this works out tomorrow, and if the earnings is good after the market. I believe Chris Sang said this is a $200 stock, so I think I'm gonna hold on. because we got $3,800 in profit here. It'd be nice to get this, to double that. See Palantir go to 200 and take that profit, and I may sell half or all of it, and I'm fluid with the market. If I see a change in the market, if I see an opportunity, I go for it. I try to give some guidelines of what I want to do, but I'm not holding myself to just this is how I'm doing it and this is how we sticking to it regardless of how market conditions are. No, I'm not like that. All right, RobinHood. Chris saying again, also said when this one was at like $73 or $74, he said this one is going to $100. And it did go to $100 and it went there fast, faster than I expected because I only have 60 shares. I did add to this position because I think I only had maybe 10 shares or 20 shares. Now this was a couple weeks ago. So this won't be my PowerPoint presentation. All right, so Robinhood is at 100. You can see it's up 66 cents in the overnight market. Market value is over $6,000. We're up $448 in profit for average cost of $93.09 for 60 shares. Next, we have Hui, which is YieldMax version of Robinhood. So it's at 67. Look at there. Oh, it's at 67.30. Cool. All right, so it's up $2.04 in the overnight market. Market value is just $740, and we only have 11 shares. Ain't that sad? Just 11 shares. And we know this baby pays out. And it has recovered every single time so far. But anyway, moving right along. Next, we got SMCY. Is at $20.55. Its market value is over $2,800. We're down $732. Average cost is very similar to Misty's here, $25.78 for 140 shares. Now, if you go back and look at the 6 months, Misty and SMCY, SMCY is actually outperforming Misty on the average dividend price over the past 6 months. SMCY is averaging $1.65, and Misty's averaging $1.49, I believe, over the past 6 months. So SMCY is looking pretty good, being pretty solid. All right, super micro computers. This is a position I got in because I said, you know what? I liked it SMCY before they had the issue with the accounting, and it dipped. Let's go to year to date, and it dipped. Look at here, $26. Then it ran up to $60, and it's come back, but look like it's been on a steady incline since then. I like super microcomputers because of how fast it moves too, right? So our market value is over $2,800. We're down $60. Average cost is $58.61 for 50 shares. So this is probably going to be a swing trade. We're getting some nice profit, and then we'll probably sell out. Right. Next, we got SoFi. This is probably a swing trade too, even though I probably should be holding this one long term. But it's probably going to be a swing trade. So it's at 21.27. Our market value is just over $1,000. We're up almost $55. Our average cost is $20.18 for 50 shares. All right, next we got YieldMax. This is 13.18. Market value is at $659. We're down $120. Average cost is $15.59. As you can see, most of my positions, I'm down in them. There's a few that I'm up. And my buffer is at, 9K. So when I get to break even, y'all better look out. All right, so AIYY, this was another position I got in the other week. And then, as usual, by the time I make a mind to get into play, it goes down. So we did get in this one. It's at 367 right now. Our market value is at 734. We're down $180. The average cost is 457. And I can't remember where we were before I got in this position. before I added it to bring down my average cost, but I think it might have been around $11 or something. So, but we only had a few shares, but now we got our average cost down to 457. So if this does move, we will be in instant profit. Look, it's just almost 90 cents away, and we'll be in profit. So. All right, next we got XPay. It's 53.55. Market value is 576. We're down over $23. Average cost is 55.77. 10 shares. Next we got YBTC. It's currently 46.02. Market value is $47.52. We're down $1.53. Average cost is $47.50, and we just have one share. This pays on a Thursday, and it's pretty much a fixed price of 95 cents. If they do make any extra, they pay it out over 95. But if you're looking for a position that has a consistent fixed pay, at least for the remainder of this year, it's 95 cents per month that it pays out. This is Round Hill. All right, Bitwise. It's been intriguing. This is their Mara version. It's at $38.42. Market value is just shortly under $2,000. We're down $205. Our average cost is $42.46, and we have 51 shares. All right, next position here is Bitwise version of Coney, ICOI. Currently at $41.94. You can see it went down $7 the other day. Our market value is over $2,100, and we're currently down $380. Our average cost is $49.40. 51 shares also. Next, we have I missed Bitwise. It's at $43.65. Our market value is at $43.65. We're down $6.58. Average cost is $50.23 for one share. Next, we have 22nd Century Group. This is a position that I didn't heed the advice. They said this position is probably going to have a pullback. Do not get in it. Oh, I wouldn't advise you get in it. Guess what I did? I got in it, and it pulled back, and I'm down $825. Average cost is $7.60. Market value is $390. So we're waiting to see if we can at least get close to our average cost. If not, we may have to just get out of this one and call it a loss. All right, next is Webull. This is potentially another swing trade or a long-term position trade, but more likely in short term, just a swing trade position. This is Webull trading platform called Bull. Bull is the stock, is the ticker, but it's Webull. The trading platform over there is Webull. All right. It is at $13.60. Our market value is at $27.20. We're down $490. Our average cost is $16.05 for 200 shares. All right, let's hit our Charles Schwab. All right, so in our Charles Schwab account, the previous month, which was July, this is a tally of our dividends. $178.52 is what we made last month in our Charles Schwab account, which is a cash only account, no margin being used there. All right, and here is our current position in our Charles Schwab. We got Coney 32 shares, Cavano 6 shares, ICOI 1 share, Morrow 28 shares, Murney 5 shares, Misty 19 shares, Platy 5 shares, SMCY 15 shares, Ulti 17 shares, and Yeet 10 shares. All right, so we're down $94 in this account, but we made $78 last month. All right, cool. Next, we got a PowerPoint. Why am I showing you this PowerPoint? Because I want to show you. This is my statement from Robinhood showing my transactions that I did for this past week. Here in the yellow shows you the stock symbol. And here in the middle of the screen, highlighted in yellow, shows the quantity that I purchased. So if you want to pause the video and see what I did, you This column here is the price because it's not showing in the video clip here. So the B is going to represent a buy. If it was an S, it would be a sell. This right column here is the trade date, and this column next to the trade date here is the settlement date. Next, this column shows the account type being M, meaning it's a margin account. This column here shows the price. It shows the price of the position at the time I purchased it. And like I said, this is the number of shares I purchased. This column here is the principal amount, meaning you multiply the number of shares times the stock price. And this here is commission. This is commission fee. This is transaction fee. Then this right here is the net amount. It currently is showing everything to be the same as the principal amount. This says over the counter market. This is CAP, which is a 1. I don't know what that is. And then this is saying United States for you. All right. See, here it is right here. So this is a continuation of that screen showing AIYY and ICOI. So it shows here that I purchased last week. I added $12,211 to my margin account. All right. Shows another position I bought on the 30th AMDY because I had a stop limit order sell and it was buying them once it reached the target price. Another $457 added to my margin account. And then here's another day I brought some SMCYI, Weeble, and AIYY. You can see here. All right. So that added another $3,679 to my margin account. So looking at what did I say, 12 and this? So we was probably pushing about another $16,000 we added to my margin account. Yes, because we was right at $99,000, and now it went up to $116,000. Yep, that makes sense. And then I got my dividends, and that brought it down to $114,000. Bingo. All right. So that's showing you my transaction because I didn't do a short for any of those and post it. So I thought I would just show you the statement from Robinhood showing you my transactions. So if you want to go back and look at that, just pause the video. All right, next we're going to go to our Excel spreadsheet. I was going to post all that. What was that? Over here, but I was like, man, that's too much copy and pasting. Let me just do a screenshot and a PowerPoint of that. All right, so our Excel spreadsheet here. All right, so our active income, we haven't gotten paid this month, but last month our total payment for the month was $5,704. We got paid 3 times that month. All right, so our passive income for the month of July totals to be $10,603.15. All right, we got dividends the 1st of August. So that was $1,668.26. So our total active income from my employers, $31,883, minus my tithes of $3,188. All right, our passive income total for the year is $56,854. So combined, my active and passive income now stands currently at $88,738. My average active income stands at over $4,500, and my passive income stands at over $7,100. My prior margin balance was at $99,578, and my current margin balance in Robinhood stands now at $114,718. Our Robinhood goes at $35. Our Robinhood interest now stands at $2,304. Previously, it was over $1,600. Robinhood charged me the other day, I believe it was just a little bit over $400, maybe $440 or $430 in interest, which is Not too bad for over $100,000. All right. Let's see here. So our total debt now currently stands at, oh, my 401k was reduced a small amount, but my total debt now stands at a whopping $315,250. Say it again for me. That's $315,250. So for over $250,000 in debt. Over a $250,000 in debt. Now, like I said, I can sell off uh my Palantir, my Hood, my SoFi, my Weeble, and if I need to, I can do Platy and Hui, and I would probably knock out about $35,000 to $40,000 right there. So, woolah. All right. So our interest current for the second half of the year is currently standing at $3,551, and total interest for the year is at $16,830. All right, just showing the average. All right, so our RobinHood deposits. So far, we haven't deposited anything to our RobinHood account since February, and these are the two withdrawals. This withdrawal here, $27.48. I loaned it out to a family member. That money will not be returning. All right. Then here in the month of June, I withdrew $6,000 and paid this balance off this credit card. Right. So our total withdrawal for the year is at $8,748, and our total deposit in the Robinhood account stands at $1,685. All right. So our cost basis for our Coney account stands at $114,136, give or take a few dollars, right? If the math isn't 100%. Excuse me. All right. So total dividends received so far for Coney since I've been investing in Coney stands at $54,564. So once we receive an additional $59,572, we will be at our break even, and we will have our initial investment back from Coney. All right, now with Misty, we've made $20,684 since we've been investing in Misty. We need $5,337 to be break even and making house money in our Misty account. Terrific. All right. Next, we got a Divi tracker. All right. So our Divi tracker, let's refresh this, see if there have been any changes. All right. Our Divi tracker says our annual dividends projected to be $145,000. Our monthly income over $12,000. Our weekly income over $2,800, and our daily income almost $400, making $16.64 an hour. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, if you take this amount that we owe in margin, add it plus this and this negative, you will get the $226,000 is the invested amount. Saying we have 26 holdings, meaning we have 26 different ETFs that we are invested in. So is there anything else here I want to cover in this? I think that's about it. I like the way it displays things on the app. I like the way it displays things on the app. So I may start posting screenshots of this maybe once or twice a week or daily. Who knows? I think it takes 24 hours to update to show the current day's information. All right, next we got Snowball and Analytics. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, portfolio performance. Mine is going to be here in the blue, and the S&P 500 is going to be in the orange. All right, so you can see here back in April where my portfolio was down here, negative 29,000 it shows. and S&P was down 6,600. And in the last since July, we began to sprout our wings, got up to 35,000. S&P 500 was at $3,800, and right now it shows that we're currently outpacing the S&P 500. I think you can change this, I thought, to like the Dow or something. But anyway, all right, so holding performance. This is like a heat map here showing Coney, Palantir, Misty, Hood, AMD, Plady, OT, SMCY, SMCI, Bull. All right. All right, so here showing again our position in our Coney position here at 10,032 shares, $114,000 invested. Total dividends saying 54,590. We're down 40,000 in our account right now. Our profit and loss for Coney that's been sold is at over $1,300. And when you say 54,000 minus 14,000 plus our 1,300, we are $15,000 in profit. Misty, showing that we are $14,000 in profit if you do the math on that position. All right, next we got, let's skip AMD because we still haven't fixed that yet. Next we got SMCY. We're at $1,500 in profit here. Tesla, we are at $437 in profit. Play T, we are $3,448 in profit. OT, we're at $141 in profit. YBIT, $826 in profit. YBTC, we're down $3,300 in the negative. And so forth and so forth. So the biggest negative red position here in profit, I see not too many. Not too many. All right, so our total dividends received is $87,861, and our total profit is $35,175. All right, so Snowball Analytics saying that our annual income is projected to be $112,000 for the year. They're saying that we should be average about 93. I'm showing in my Excel spreadsheet that I'm averaging currently 71. So they do base it off the prior dividend payout. So that's just a projection. All right. All right. So let's get to our Q&A. All right. 42. We may be able to get this done in 18 minutes or under 18 minutes. Let's see. All right. Kelly says, I have Yeeth, Misty, OT, LFGY, and QDTE. I said all of those are pretty solid positions. I was in QDTE at one point in time. Ghost Star says, I enjoy the sharing. I own all of these to a small amount and have 5,000 OT shares. It's concerning me the declining payouts. I said, as long as you know your investment strategy and the results of what you're getting or what you want, you should be good, not financial advice. I do like 5,000 shares in OT. I've been trying to get there myself. Trappin said, would be nice to add the value of the shares each dividend pays out. I like the videos. And I don't know if he just saw the thumbnail and didn't watch the video, but I said, did I miss something when watching the video? I think that's what I did. If I didn't, please provide some clarification because I think I don't quite understand. Yep. All right, next we got roll up the bill. Misty has been letting me down lately. I said that seems to be an ongoing sentiment for Misty, But me myself, I like the price so I can dollar cost average down, and plus an ETF that pays $20 and is paying over $1. I think that's a great position to be in. That's just me. T. Washington says, I really appreciate how you take the time to break down the payment per share count. Shows the previous and current payment and the previous closing price. Thank you for all that you do. I gotta start watching your channel more. Oh, please do by all means. Please go back and watch all the videos. I said, thank you for dropping by, viewing the content. I hope it helps. He says, it definitely helps. My good friend, Love Your Life says, is it me or is YieldMax doing terrible on all the ETFs of the last couple of months? I say yes. The last couple of months have been so compared to what they used to do, other than Hui. It's been blasting off to the moon. He says it's been down all year. Oh, I didn't get to show that, but it actually started around February, so pretty much yes, all year. Um, and that's because of the tariffs and everything that's going on. All this stuff is affecting it. Avery says, I'm thinking about jumping in, starting with 30K. My goal is to make at least 25,000 in dividends. Any suggestions? I like Coney a lot. He says, I'm still confused on how do you make profit. Just giving an example. Let's say I have Coney at $25 a stock and I have 100 stocks. The payout is $2, so my dividend pay is 200, but then they take $200 off the stock. So it's like robbing Peter to pay Ben. Excuse me. Where is the profit coming from? I said I would like to. I said, excuse me. I would say you have to find something that you like and believe in, that you know the underlying stock is going to be successful. I'm down about 25,000. So this was like 4 days ago. I was down 25,000 in Coney. Of course, you all saw right now that I'm actually now down about 40,000 in Coney, right? Um, Coney right now, but that's cause I was buying it um when it was in the upper teens and 20s. I said, take your time to do your own due diligence. Watch Spencer Invest YouTube channel. He has some great information over there. I said, if I'm not mistaken, they use cover calls, put in a collected premium, and pay it out as dividends. Okay. Clay here says, or K says, Misty, her. Oh, I don't know what that is. I couldn't have to translate it. I was able to translate it earlier on my mobile. I don't remember what it was because that was 4 days ago. I said, yes, the implied volatility has been low on Mr. From what I'm gathering from Jay, the head fund manager. My good friend Alan said, Ulti is my biggest YieldMax holding. Very happy with it. Good job. Is it? He said, "Oh, the biggest." So that's not his only one, but that is his biggest position. He's enjoying it. Uh, and me, I like it too because if you're getting it at $6.20, $6, $6.40, I don't. I ain't gonna say it won't drop to maybe five something, but it doesn't have further drop if you get it at this low. If they're able to ever get it back up to around 12, $15, man, now you probably making what, 30, 40 cents a week, and you in profit. I said, Alan, she's my next target for 10K shares. I'm going to have some patience and wait a while before I can get there if I don't pivot. All right, so that's all for that. All right. Gregory said, how do you feel about Bito? I said, I haven't followed it, but it seems it's had some nice dividend payouts above $1, some below $1, but overall the payouts are being good for the current price of $20. T. Washington says, I keep playing with the ideal of trying margin, but I always come back to taxes. Do you plan on just paying interest on your margin loan this year, then paying the taxes in 2026? Then, after your taxes are paid, sell out of the reinvested dividends if you are reinvesting, to knock down a huge amount of your margin debt. I think you probably answered my question at the 41.35 mark, but let me know, man. Any insight will be appreciated. All right. And then I gave a response here. If you want to read it, you may. I won't read all that for you. I won't bore you with it. But basically, I just told him one option is that I've heard people talk about is the first of the year, for the first 3 months, they just hold those dividends and pay the taxes. There's different strategies, but none of my stuff is financial advice. Um, my Midwest brother said, I see you making all that dividend money. So what is your next 10,000 share ETF? I listen to your videos. It keeps me motivated to buy more and more. Keep it going, my brother. I said it's going to be a while, but I want a weekly to hold 10,000 shares. I got my eye on OT. Now that money did now that money did you speak of, I can't really feel it. What did I say? Now that money did you speak of, I can't really feel it due to all the debt. Oh, all that money he's talking about that I was making. I got you. I said, yeah, I can't really feel it due to all the debt I got. Oh, going back to this guy here, he said the margin. So I'm not too concerned about the interest on margin. I mean, if you got gold and you only paying 5% on 50,000 and or 60,000, you're only paying maybe $200 or $300 a month. So I'm not too concerned with the interest on margin. My only concern with margin would be getting margin call. That's the only thing I would have concern with margin. But when you're making thousands of dollars a month, a couple $100 is a small amount for the amount of margin in my case that I got borrowed. So um this individual says being down 22K on a fund is wild work. I hope you're watching this video because now I'm down 40. I think it's let's see. Currently we are he's talking about Coney, right? So Coney, we are currently right at $40,000 in Coney. So he thought 22,000 was wild. I raised you to. He said being down 22 on the phone is wild. You definitely have to get better at the nav control of your entry points. Uh, Dave, the lender says you have to look at total profit, not just nav. There you go. Now that's what I'm talking about. I'm all about total return. The nav, my thing on that is, and I think I've said it before, if I got $10,000 and I'm down 1,000, and over the course of 10 to 18 months I made it 10,000, and I'm still down 1,000 or 2,000 in my account in value, I don't care. I really, honestly don't care. Um, People view on money is different. Don't really care because I may be down 1,000 to $2,000 in my account, but I've made it all back in 12 to 18 months. I got my initial investment back and I'm making monthly dividends now, and it's just printing me money. I'm letting them hold $10,000 of my money, right? I got it locked in. I'm staking it, as in crypto terms. I got it staked, and they are cutting me a check every month or every week. And they are the one who are paying me interest. They are paying me interest. And until they pay, they can't pay it off until I sell it. So they're going to continue to pay me as long as I let them hold my position. And once I get all my initial money back, I'm going to continue to let them hold it. And they're going to keep paying me. And they're going to keep printing me money. You know, people worried about YieldMax and these high yield ETFs. If the stock market shuts down, then we all got a problem. I don't see YieldMax just shutting down. Um, so I said I don't disagree with that, but I bought a long time ago when it was in the 20s and high teens, um, and then my cost average went down to 11.39. But like Dave the Lender said, I'm more of a total return guy. Precision Defense says, thank you for responding to my question on your last video. First of all, I want to give a shout out to all of you people. If you're still watching the Q&A section of this video, and like the other guy, he said at the 41:35 mark, I am surprised that people are still watching. Um, Thank you all for staying in there and watching the content. I appreciate it. He was saying, thank you for responding to my question on my last video. Do you use dividend payouts to cover your margin repayment, or how exactly do you pay margin back? Do you have a video on margin investing? And I said, I don't have a video on margin investing, unfortunately. Not my niche. Yes, I do use my dividends to pay down margin. RobinHood does it automatically. So say if I got $1,000 in dividends, my margin is at 10,000. My margin automatically becomes 1,000 without me having to do anything. And if I still want to use that money, I could go ahead and spend it again. It's very seamless with a gold membership of $5 a month. Gary says, could you share with us all the ETFs you are actually currently holding? Thank you. And Gary, I got to apologize to you and say I'm sorry because I did not get that done for you like I stated I would. Now, I almost covered them all, Gary, if you're watching this video. Matter of fact, Gary, if you're watching right now, check this out. I'm going to show you all the ones I got. So here we go. Coney, 10,000 shares. Alti, 15,000 shares. Misty, 1,000 shares. AMD, 600 shares, 680 shares. Platy, 230 shares. Palantir, 150 shares. Tesla, 180 shares. Hood, 60 shares. Let me scroll up. Hui, 11.01 shares. SMCY, 140 shares. SMCI, 50 shares. YBIT, 62 shares. YieldMax, 50 shares. SoFi, 50 shares. AIYY, 200 shares. XPay, 10.77 shares. YBTC, 1.03 shares. IMRA, 51 shares. ICOI, 51 shares. I missed 1 share. XXLL, 160 shares. Bull, which is Weeble, 200 shares. Going to my Charles Schwab account. Coney, 32 shares. Kavana, 6 shares. ICOI, 1 share. Morrow, 28 shares. Murney, 5 shares. Misty, 19 shares. Platy, 5 shares. SMCY, 15 shares. Alti, 17.38 shares. And Yeeth, 10 shares. So that is all the ETF that I currently have. Now I do have a small position in my Webull account, but it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. It's a very small position that I don't even count towards any of this as paying debt or anything. And you saw what I had in my Charles Schwab, which is a cash account. That's pretty much it. Um, Kelly says, great video. I'm trying to reach 100K by the end of the year, no margin. And Kelly, I give you a great shout out because if you're able to do that with no margin, using cash money, you can definitely do it, especially if you got a large amount of cash coming in and you constantly compounding and reinvesting. You can get it, and it's probably safer and a peace of mind that way. I didn't have the funds to do that, so I took $30,000 and I am borrowing it, and I'm making just over $7,000 a month in the span of what 11 months now, because next month will be September, and September is when I posted my first YouTube video for YieldMax Mindset. All right, Gary says, "Are you doing it? You are doing an awesome job on your videos and how you keep us up to date as what ETFs are out there and what they pay for sure. I appreciate that." Thank you, Gary. I said appreciate you stopping by viewing the content and find it useful. I tried to think what I would want to see and then decide to place it out there for others to see. I'm hoping to get more information out there because there are more ETFs just trying to figure out how to do it. But thank you again. I said I'll try and get a list of the positions that I have at a later date because I'm about to crash in a little bit. And I didn't get that, Gary, but if you're watching, a few minutes earlier, I just went over my entire position and RobinHood and Charles Schwab. I called them out and the number of shares that I have. All right, let's go back one. That's the old video, past 8 days. All right, let's hit this short. Wrong place. I want to go to the comment section. Yep. Nope. Right here. All right. Curtis Washington says, my guy is rolling. I said, thank you, Mr. Curtis. I pray to the Lord that I'm rolling in the right direction. Hopefully he leads in God. I was supposed to say lead and God, not lead in God, me, and order my steps. Ricardo has says it can get much worse, especially if we hit or surpass the bear market. It truly can, I says, but I'm hoping this week we get a little uptrend for a period of at least a period of time. Um, my good friend here, Cuzzo, says Trump crashed the market with tax, and I'm thinking he's talking about the tariffs. I said something happened for sure. Um, Custom says, get that money bag, my man. I said, we're trying. Um, Angel Bachelor, Angel Bachelor, if I'm saying that correct, I think that's it. She says, I'm down $6,500 in Misty, Ulti, and YSPY, Y-Spy, my biggest losers. Cal says, but how much after the dividends unless you got your first payment? She replied, if you factor in my payments, technically I'm not down, but I am down. I want it all, no dips, steady payments. We all want that. We all want that, but it's sort of hard to do that unless you incur ETLs and maybe some of the neos. Let's sort of hold a little bit better. All right, so I says most of everything was down, not just the high yield. Yeah, the whole entire market was down. Dante Weavers, his mind is blown. He's seeing how much I'm down. He saw that drop. He's like, what? I said, it's to be expected. Pretty much the same thing that happened around April Fool's Week. All right, my good friend Mike Lesser, if I'm saying it correct. If I'm saying it right, he says, I've always been a bit weary of funds like Coney, Ulti, and any others that cost under $10. Cost, even though it's a sweet price, if it has a super bad day and falls by $1 or so, it can hurt a portfolio a lot. See here. Can't make this name out, but this individual replies, it recovers. It did the same thing with the last tariff announcement, laughing out loud. And he says, true. It always does in due time. Dividends investing isn't like other forms of investing where we're in it for the long haul. He also said more shares of the mid-range funds that are around 50, a pop like Platy, ICOI, Hui, IMIS, Imera, and Carvana compared to the lower ones seem to help a lot with the balance and control, damage and control. Yeah, they are. And some of the earlier ones were sort of doing that when it first started, but over time, um, they didn't hold up, like Tesla and Coney. But they've changed some. Was it Prosperous? What's the word I'm looking for? They went in and changed some of the things that they filed with the SEC. I said I'm I said I'm taking a liking to the ETFs under $10 because I can load up on them, and if they ever decide to double up, that's 100% profit. And that they are low, they don't have much further to fall. Mike replied, I feel you on that angle. As for me, I've always tried to gobble up the most shares of the expensive, best performing ones before they cost a crazy amount. That way, in my end game scenario, it will be easier to finish out my goal. I'm super close already. I'm trying to hit 100,000 total. Then I will kick back and collect for life. Probably more buying after that. Probably no more buying after that. Not even with the dividends because it's not necessary. You're trying to accomplish something a bit bigger. I wish a quick recovery for you, my dude. I bounced back from a 10K loss within 2 weeks before, so it's just a matter of time. I said, I think I'm having, what is this? I said, I think having a position in the underlying stock lie Palantir Hood helped me with my buffer this time around. Yeah, it will. Just don't need another 20% dip next week, laughing out loud. And I asked the question, is 100K a month you speaking of? He replied, getting equal amounts of the underlying depth do save our behinds a lot. No, not per month, laughing out loud. I was just saying once my portfolio hits 100,000, then the snowball effects takes over and develops quick so you don't need to invest more. Only collect. Once I'm a millionaire, it's good enough for me. Some want 10, some want 100 mil. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, they say when you hit 100,000, it starts snowballing. But I think with these high yields, once we hit 100,000, man, it's gonna be crazy. As soon as I get this margin, I mean, my margin saying I'm already almost at 200,000. So when I get that margin and this debt paid off, I know it's off to the moons for me. I just gotta grind this out with the debt outside of Robinhood, and then I gotta work on the margin, which I'm not concerned with the margin. I'm more concerned with the debt outside of Robinhood because of the interest rate. It's causing me more on $50,000 outside of Robinhood in 6 months, $16,000 than it has in 6 months with margin. Margin has only cost me $2,000 in 6 months, but the debt outside of Robinhood, a lesser amount, has cost me over 16,000. All right, excuse me. Live USA. Man, my time is flying here. Mm. Live USA says, you risky, bro. If Kona drops to $1, you risky, bro. If Coney drops to $1. Uh, my friend said, it won't, laughing out loud. I had Coney for a while now. Uh, Angela said, how long? It's down from the beginning. I'm still holding, just not sure if I want to increase my position. He says tariffs rates were announced on the 1st. It will take effect on the 7th. Oh, so man, that means we'll probably have a bad week. He says if you're lump summing every month, meaning one lump sum amount, I would wait and set buy limit orders. I ma- otherwise I margin and I just DC dollar cost average down. My costing now and later, it depends on how much you can invest each month. I said, so the reason why Coney failed was because Cohen posted their second quarter results that fell short of expectations for their revenue. And then what happened on August the 1st? So we're talking like a double whammy. Mike said, ouch. I had a feeling you got a big hit, dog. Cause I'm down 3,000 in profit myself. Man, 3,000. Oh, that's like a walk. That's like a everyday thing. Some of my other positions, that's just something. As long as I ain't get margin call, I got time to figure out a strategy to recover. I said, yeah, I'm good for now. I think we had some pretty good cushion to absorb. I don't know if I can handle another 20% drop though. He said, true. I hope it bounces back sooner than later, homie. Um, Uno says, seem like August remain consistent. Stay up, gang. Yeah, and I do hear that, like August and September sometimes will be down months. Um, yep. So I said, yeah, let's see what the next two holds, see if we bounce back. Seems like, oh, did I repeat that? It did repeat. All right. Jay says, wow, man, you got balls. I panicked so mine. Only thing that helped me was the dividends. Um, Can't make out this name. Sathan. Sathan says these funds lasted through the last tariff. Don't panic. Sell if you get into these funds again. It always recover. I said I've seen this movie before. Back in April. These are golden opportunities. If you have dry powder waiting on the side for the market to take these 20% dips, you buy in, and when it recovers, you got huge profit. Of course, I don't need another 20% drop. All right. Mike says another major drop is the only worry. Current president is very mentally unstable. So that's part of my slight conservative ways now. I said he moves the market like no others for sure. And he says, like him or hate him, he sure does that. Jimmy says, you are a real one. He shows his loss and gains. Keep it up, bro. I said, thank you, sir. If I only shows the gains and not the losses, that will be false advertisement. Average says, or is it average? Says, bro, I was patiently waiting for your video. He said, I was patiently waiting for your video today. Was a tough one, but hey, we either look at it like that or we look at it as a good opportunity for a sale, which I did. And that's how I look at it. Especially if you got buying power. This is how the rich do. They waiting for these big 20 drops like this in the market, pull back, and they swoop in and they buy these at discounts. And the new investors that are emotionally attached to their money, they panic sell and they get out, and then they say the market is no good. They see the market green, and they get in there when they see it's running up, and they buy high, and then the market dips again, they lose again. I was a part of that too until I learned from some of these YouTubers, hey, you buy in the red, don't buy too high, don't have fear of FOMO, and don't chase. And sometimes I still chase. Absolute, absolute Truity or Ruti says that's why I sold Coney when it hit $10. My previous dollar cost average And then I just sat tight and waited for the pullback, and now started another big position in the 750 range. That's why I think it's important to sell sometimes to reset your average, especially if you bought at a bit higher. So I'll keep my average down if I continue to drop, if it continues to drop. But from 1050 now to 730 is a 30% discount, and I only missed one dividend payment. And that is a good strategy. If I didn't have this debt outside of Robinhood and needed the monthly dividends right now, because right now I can afford to miss no monthly dividends. But that's a strategy I definitely would be using, man. Um, Especially once you get to seeing how these things flow and you got a good feel, man. Yeah, yeah. Because once you, and that's my thing. So y'all see what I did with Coney. I just started DCNA. So DCA. So if you get your dollar cost average down to the near lows, whenever the market has a pullback, you ain't gotta sweat it. Cause you bought near the lows. So you're not sweating. If anything, you got stop limit orders to take advantage of the profit as he talking about and rebuy at the lows. Man, increasing your position and buying at the lows. That is masterful. She says, and you gain the missed dividend by selling high and buying the stock back low. I wanted to do that with Misty last week or so ago when it was high. Yep. I won't read my comments. I'll pause the video for 5 seconds here and let you all read it. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, moving right along. Yeah, it's getting All right, so the best says yesterday I bought 80 shares more of Ulti myself. I said I just wanted to have enough share buying power to make sure. Let me read this. I just wanted to have enough shares. I don't know what I was trying to say. Enough shares buying power to make a move like I really wanted to. I need to proofread my own writing. This individual says just bleeding money at the spread that high. I'm not a gambler, so I don't understand the whole spread thing. Somebody have to explain it to me. I said, yes, gotta do better job on my part. Kevin says, why did you buy AIYY at 463 when it was trading at 429 at the time? If I'm not mistaken, if you go back and watch this video, I actually bought it at 429 at the time, and then it dropped to 409. Mike says, great addition, my dude. And it's a red day, so perfect buying opportunity right before close. Bingo. I'm dying to buy RBLY cause it's officially on the Robinhood now, but the margin maintenance is still 100%. So can't do it until it drops to 30. I'm in agreement with you. All right, let's see here. All right, so this was 6 days ago. He said legendary. This one was doing good. I said just an average Joe trying to get out of the debt, break these chains. Um, let's see here. Yeah. He says, I see the dividend. 777 said, I see the dividend just paid out for Coney. And as usual, people are hopping out. Do you think right now serves a great buying opportunity? I said, this is not financial advice, but if I was getting into Coney for the first time, yeah, I would be getting it at these prices. Anthony says, what's your tax looks like? Jeez, you're getting that bag. And basically, like I said, I haven't paid any taxes. I hadn't set aside anything for taxes. I'm going to deal with it come tax time. Because right now I need the money to pay down debt. And So right now I'll deal with that when I cross it pretty much. Mike says, yeah, they were an hour too late. So this was last week. Let's talk about the dividends. Yep, all that was last week. 7 days ago. All right, so we should be good. Yep, 10 days ago. All right. That would be last week's video. All right, let's hit these posts and we gonna be ready to go. We're gonna be ready to go. All right. Kendrick says SMCY is solid. I say yes, you are absolutely right. In the past 6 months, SMCY is averaging $1.65, and missed in the past 6 months is averaging $1.49. Unknown says you are such a lifesaver, bro. I honestly don't know how I came across this page or this content channel. Literally, randomly, bro. No homo. I love you, G. I guess that's what that is. I love you, G. I love you, gang. I love you, fam. You have saved me from the matrix. He's laughing 100%. He said, oh my God, I'm finally going to run it up now. I got paid from YieldMax 2 times. Now finna cash out and roll that 1K plus another 1K from my check into SMCY. This 2K invested so far, hoping to get between $100 to $200 a month from SMCY. Nothing crazy, but by next year, I'm gonna be getting deadly. He says, appreciate you once more. My question is, I'm a new investor. Should I drip the dividends or keep withdrawing it? And do you think SMCY will stay the next 2 years? And should I only invest in SMCY, my portfolio? P.S. I want the most return. I'm not concerned about the risk. I am broke, so I don't care about taking all the risks. Once more, appreciate you, fam. 100% go. And I share those sentiments. I'm broke. So what have I got to lose? So I replied here. If you're watching this unknown, I said, glad you're enjoying the content, getting those dividends. I'm not sure what I did, but happy that you're trying to get, I should have been saying, get out of the matrix. One of my favorite movies, by the way. I appreciate the love, brother. That screenshot was my dividends from last week. Each week, a different group is paying, and if you need the cash for something, you can pull it out for an emergency. But if you good, then building your position up by reinvesting and adding more cash to your position. Buy on the red days and keep your cost average low. There's probably more. I should have said there's probably more I could say, but just staying tuned and watch the videos. There might be something there to help over time. Peace. I say YieldMax has more to choose from. Click the link below to see all of them. Plus, there are other high yield ETFs, and here are all their links. So check those out. Unknown. Fam here says, appreciate the quote. Yes, I try to get quotes that are meaningful and thought provoking. So you're welcome, my brother. Mike says the dividend profit in a lifetime alone will make us multi-millionaires. That is a major goal above all else. There will be bumps in the road at times, like on Friday, but hold the course, my brother. Be strong. We're headed to the moon. Dollar bill. As I definitely will be holding on through the bumps and ups and downs. This is the same thing that we experienced back in May. But my question is, can you keep using this word? But my question is, you keep using the word multimillionaire around. Why? He said, Maurice says, Misty has been dropping like a rock. Probably hold until the end of the year to see if any improvements on the fund. allocate those dividends to other position. So yeah, a lot of people replied. It's getting late, so I ain't gonna read all that. This individual said, Coney just took a large hit. My dollar cost average is 840. I'm selling at the moment. It gets back to 850. Shares. My last dividend payment was 675. Not worth it, honestly. I just let them know the information about Coinbase. Everything max dividend crashed like a dollar bill. I said, yes, sir. 500 down. Facts. Much love here, brother. Appreciate it. All right. D says IOC. Oh my God. I said, I'm taking it. You just saw the last dividend payment over $9. He said, facts, 100%. Love your life. 5 days ago says, I missed out on this one. Gonna go jump in IOC when the market opens. May even trade my AIYY for a few IOC and not use any margin. I miss and Imara let me down the pass payout. Massive reduction. Yep. So we had a nice conversation here. He said, I just grabbed two of them and we'll see if it holds the dividend amount at the end of August. ICOI is a monthly payout, by the way. Too bad Coney isn't doing better yet. Maybe one day once the market gets into a better rhythm. Mike says, I grabbed 12 shares of IOC today with all my Bitwise distribution at the time. I love red days. I said, yes, I stepped out there and got 50 shares. I'm not sure about the 2x leverage. He said, we enjoy the adventure together, my brother. Hope Roblox maintenance goes down from 100%. I said, holler at me when it drops from 20 to 30. He says, will do, brother. Chip. He said the underlying is 25 to 30%, so RobinHood should bring it down in due time. He said I may get two shares. He said I may get two shares in Riku on Monday morning, even though it's 100%. ATM is a teaser. What you think, bro? Whoa. I may get two shares on Roku for Monday morning, even though it's 100% as a tester. What do you think? I'm gonna stay away from it at 100%, even though, oh, I guess okay. So yeah, if you got two shares at 100% and eventually it goes down and you got in at the low, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. It's a nice strategy. Mike D said, Mike, wonder what the dividend is going to be. He says, I'm not sure. I said, I'm not. He said, me too. I'm sure it's decent. Guesstimate between $5 and $10. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, Mike. Uh, that's crazy though. $10. Ooh, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. Did I skip this one? It's 8 days ago. 8 days ago. 8 days ago. So I think we're good. 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 Yep, I think we're good. All right. Didn't do too good on this video. An hour and 28 minutes. But this is YieldMaxMindset signing off. It is 1 o'clock. I'll probably be up about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Hopefully the market isn't crashing. And if so, then I'll just go back to sleep and see what Tuesday morning says. All right, I'm out, guys. Y'all have a blessed week. God bless you.